We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers, because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds
folks.
dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs, you are.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Hey. Welcome to the Patriot Party News. We're so happy that you joined, and we have, of course, Edward Torres and Oath Keeper Bill here with us on Friday nights. We had Edward join me and Bill last Friday night, and I really liked it, and we kind of hit it off, and we got a lot of great information, and we've got a lot of people that are doing what I believe needs to happen. That's sharing out true good information. That's what we need. We don't need the bull. We need good information. What's that you always say, Oath Keeper Bill? We need authenticity. Okay, great. Well, I believe we have some great authenticity here tonight. We're going to have Dr. Jan Hlper Hayes, and I'm really excited about that. I know Jan well. I've had the pleasure of having dinner with her. We went downtown to Nashville and looked around and looked at all the craziness going on, and we just sat there and talked. And I just loved every minute of it because she explains it well. So, in my opinion, this is a good one to share out. If you're ever going to share something out, this is the time to do it. Your family, friends, whoever might get a lot out of it. There might be a trigger that goes off in their head that says, "Ooh, I understand her. I've been listening to this guy and this and this guy, and I'm not getting it, but she got it for me. She made me understand." And do that with everyone, not just this podcast, but many. This is not about me. This is about us. This is about us. And thank you so much, Edward. Good to see you, brother. How are you?
Same here. Good.
How are you?
Very good.
Good. I'd like to hear from you here in just a little bit. I'd like to bring on in Dr. Jan for everybody to see. Hello, Dr. Jan. How are you, sweet girl?
I'm great, Warren. Good evening, gentlemen. Nice to be with you.
Good to see you, Dr. Jan. Thank you.
Are you in the States? Are you?
I am in the States.
Usually I don't ask that.
I can say that much. No, I am in the States. What I can say is that I am being vetted to go full-time at the DOD. Now, I also know that there was someone else that was wanted full-time who had served in Trump's administration, and he didn't pass his vetting. Why? Who knows? But it's political. So I have made the move. I have taken an apartment in Alexandria. I'm getting encouraging. I'm working on it. We're getting close. But I've trusted God. So either I end up there full time or I keep on doing what I'm doing. And that's fine with me. I'm still, I was going to say I'd still be okay. I think if I was full time and the person that I would be working for who really knows me and knows what I'm capable of doing and would probably give me a lot of freedom, I could probably kick ass better. And that's what I'd really like to do.
Good. Will you still be able to, I don't know, I guess people that are in the wherever they are in Trump's cabinet or anywhere, I guess they can still do podcasts. I don't know.
Oh, most definitely. Because we know that it's not like I'm revealing any great confidential information or, highly secretive. I talk about psychology. I talk about our human heart. I talk about what frustrates us and angers us and what is going on so that we can understand that to be able to cope with it. So, yeah.
Maybe cope with the psychological warfare that's going on around us at
Oh,
all times.
well, when you think about, or when I think about how psyops are planned and who planned them and how far back it goes, meaning how far back the planning goes and the type of people who are willing to play the long psychological game is what really scares me. You know, there's psyops on our politicians. There are psyops on all of us. No one escapes an aspect of the psyop.
Right,
And
right.
if you ever hear it thrown around about the Frankfurt School of Psychology, those are just all former Nazis.
Literally. And
Literally.
people don't get that. When you say Nazi, you're not just saying, I
Oh,
like a Nazi.
I'm not
talking
labeling some people. I am telling you, they were Nazis that came over here and started the Frankfurt School of Psychology.
Amen.
Could we say that
Amen.
they came under paperclip?
I have no idea. I have no
Okay.
idea.
About what now? About under paperclip?
About whether they came under paperclip or not. I mean, where they came from, honestly, I don't. At this point, I don't really care because they put their tentacles into the mindset of the American people, kind of like a woodpecker, just chipping away at us to try to weaken our resolve and our resilience.
Amen. Amen. That's a very good way to put it. And that's what they're doing psychologically. People don't understand it. You know, how that can happen, how they can control your mind and you not even know it. You say, oh, what's going on with me? What's going on? Why am I mad all the time? Why am I crying? Why am I upset with this person? I love this person. You know, it's hard.
Or why did I not see certain things for so long and then I saw it and boy, does that mean I was stupid? Or no, it really aspects, I mean, many levels, but there was an element where we thought we could trust the people that we put into office because they were supposed to serve us. And there was a time where people did actually kind of think that we came first. We, the people, were the priority.
Right.
I even asked Grok when that ended and I didn't get a sufficient answer.
Wow. If Grok can't answer it, go to Dr.
No.
Jan, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
is there there's so many things going on and it's probably very hard for people to take it in. You know, we're trying to keep up with things. What I'm doing, and you can tell me if I need to work on things because I love constructive criticism. I want to keep people up, Dr. Jan. I want to keep people understanding what's going on and not act like it's some easy thing to go through and tell the truth. Yes, this is going to be rough. It's going to probably look like everyone is against us in the United States. Everyone on the outside of the United States is going to be mad at us. There's going to be ships. There's going to be planes in the air. And you say, well, where are they from? You know, those things are going to happen. But look, pray about it. Do something good for somebody. Stay up. And when things come on that you say, oh my goodness, that's scary. Don't be emotional about it and take it in and let it set for a few days and before you make a decision on how bad something is. Any thoughts there?
well, they need your voice in their head with your lovely Southern accent explaining that you could just take it in. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that kind of rhythm to your voice is important for people to also hear. Find ways in which you can hear calming things. But, and I didn't mean but, because but always negates what was said before. And M. Scott Peck wrote the Road Less Traveled. I don't know if anyone read that book. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is the first line in the book. Life is difficult, period. And that's what you were saying, Warren. It's not an easy road. It's not a smooth road. We might not like what we were saying before we came on air. I said, right now, my blood is boiling over 2 votes that has happened in the House by the traitors, by the Republican traitors that have aligned with the Democrats. And I am not for all the division and the tribalism and everything else, but when you have over 40 that vote with the Democrats to fund the DC courts, what concerns me also there is the stupidity, the absolute stupidity of our politicians to not realize how much the voter has changed. So if I can kind of go into an example,
Love that.
I don't know how many months ago, there was a bill which was no rogue judges. It passed the House. Now, when I first saw this, my first reaction was, how stupid could our politicians be to call it no rogue judges? It's going to the Senate. What Democrat would vote for that? All right, so then, as we know, you don't take anything at face value. So then my thinking goes, oh, so they want to act like they're fighting against the rogue judges, which is why they happen to have passed this bill. And then I thought, I don't get this. I don't get this. I have to look into the polls. So I looked into the polls. Question: 2 Democrats. Do you want an impartial judicial system? 94% said yes. Do you believe we have an impartial judicial system? 14% said yes. When the question was asked of conservatives, the numbers were almost exactly the same. 92% of the GOP thought it wanted an impartial, and 12% of the GOP believed that we had an impartial. Now, here was the other part of this for me, is that when I was the global VP of Republicans overseas in the UK, politicians come through London. I mean, wherever they're going, they're always there in London. And I would always ask this same question. We are still talking about income inequality. We're talking about immigration. We're talking about the border. We're talking about second right amendments. We're talking about gun control. Why does this never get resolved? The honest one said to me, if we resolved it, what would we have to campaign on?
Wow.
Just think about that for a moment. They don't care that we are stagnated so that they can go over the same issue. Do they not realize that you solve one problem in life and another one pops up? There'd be another one there for them to deal with that they could campaign on. But just in this no rogue judges calling it, they could have said ending impartial judicial discretion. There was a whole host of ways that they could, because they could have made it a non-partisan issue and could have done something with it. But then what happened? The Supreme Court stepped in and dealt with no rogue judges. So they blew it for themselves on all levels because they need something to campaign on. And that is just one of so many examples that we have to wonder. I know they say that there is a bubble in the Beltway, and I believe that to be true. I mean, they're not, but how can Donald Trump, how can his pollsters, how can the people that he brings in have a pulse on the people? And how can we have so many other elected officials that are so clueless?
Got to be on purpose.
Yeah, they're definitely there to give us the look that we have a representation, when in fact we do not. They're just there to basically puppet what they're told to say. Could
I distill it even more?
Yeah.
The first thing they care about is, do I talk about this issue? Because if it's going to have an impact on my reelection, I think the first one is self-preservation. I got elected. Now, what do I do to keep myself here and screw everyone else?
Makes sense.
So then what we don't have is people who actually want to represent us. Is all about them. So people like that don't need to be in government representing me or representing any of us. Right?
You know, Edward, in 2014, I was at the newly elected congressional representatives initiation 8-day party. That party, they are first greeted and told, if you're enthusiastic about bringing change, don't bother. We need to keep the status quo, because anyone who wants to bring about change makes things worse for us.
So
that's what
we look. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
So all, you know, it's my opinion, but it's all we doing is oh Jesus. I lost my train. Sorry.
It'll come back.
I lost the words.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll come back and
just interrupt. Yeah. But the amount of self-centeredness. And then I also started thinking recently, why so many are evil? Where did the good ones go? And I worked with some good ones when I was chair at Republicans Overseas, because we were fighting a tax issue, and they're not there. They decided to retire. They never said it to me in these terms, because so much truth has come out since lockdown, or awareness has escalated. But they probably got tired of putting up with the redistricting and having to campaign and who they had to sell their soul to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always an element where we all have to sell our soul. There's always that element. To get along, you go along, but you don't sacrifice your morals and your values. And that's what we've seen.
Yes.
It seems like these people were bred for this. You know, it seems like, okay, in my opinion, Obama, you know, was bred for this. And so were many leaders of other countries. They're exactly like our cabal in the United States, and each one of them has the same thing going on. An oligarch has put someone into this position.
That's a very good point, Warren, because if we do look at who's in government all around the globe, we could ask the question a little differently. Why are they all so inefficient? Why are they all so corrupt? Why do they all behave the same way? Yeah.
COVID-19 really woke a lot of folks up. When we were brought home, like, you must go home. Well, guess what? It allowed me some time to study and figure things out. And then I got to learn about folks like yourselves, you know, and then throughout the years, and Lieutenant Colonel Bosey from Australia One, all of what he had to offer. And then learning from young Derek, Derek Johnson, in reading the Law of War Manual, and how we're in an occupied situation, and how the occupier and all this other business, then learning about what the UN did in the EU. And now we have Maduro in New York City, and we're ready to rock and roll, in my opinion, in respect to the 2020 election. From what, I mean, we're so limited on time, so I'm just like throwing things out there, you know, but these are things that even in my county level with my sheriff, some of the legislators, a lot of patriots, we're in our local communities going, okay, we're ready. When, you know, kind of a situation. Right. And we think that a greater awakening is fixing to occur, shaking that fence. And I believe that's when more of the patriots are going to feel a lot more comfortable stepping out. Just our opinion in respect to what our local coalition, if you will call that, talks about. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oathkeeper Bill, what do you think are the obstacles or the restraints right now that are holding people back?
A lot of it is the folks that don't read, folks that don't take the personal time to listen. And it seems like a cognitive situation here. Like, no, I don't want to hear that. No, that's not true. That's not what Grok says. That's not what, oh, don't tell me about the Act of 1871. That's bullcrap. You know, they don't even take the time to want to hear. And I'm not of authority to really, you know, force anything, but I really believe we're at a precipice now with the Tim Waltz and the mayor and the sheriff, how they were communicating, the manner of which they were communicating, how we're listening to a senator talking to a so-called doctor about men not being able to have children. Come on. Come
Getting
on.
pregnant.
Why even waste our taxpayer money to even ask that doctor the question, you fool? So we are seeing an awakening of sorts, if you will.
Right.
And then with Maduro, good Lord, it's like, whoo, come on. And young Laura Logan, her interviews with Smartmatic machines and the Dominion machines, and then hearing Patrick Burns communicate, listening to General Flynn, how he's getting flamed, just different individuals. We're watching it build. And at our local levels, we're trying to push up as we see the upper patriots, if you will, like yourself and generals and so, pushing down. So we're trying to do this, you see, and we are seeing the fruit of the labor. It's just taking a bit longer than, you know.
Well, whenever I hear someone say it's taking a bit longer, I try to give this little pep talk. And if you listen to Riccardi Bossi, he says it's taking as long as
it's going to take.
Yep. Yeah. It's supposed to be taking this long. And so that's his comment. And my comment is that if we think that it should be taking less time, that's our script. It's not reality. That is our projection. That is our expectation. And that is how we drive ourselves crazy. So I always say, give up on expectations. Expectations will make you cuckoo. They really will. I mean, they sent me into major depression back when I was expecting to see arrests, when in the 2018 midterms, I was expecting to see that things were going to happen in 2020. In 2022, I thought, oh, now they're going to really expose the fraud of the election. And I had to have a coming to Jesus meeting with myself, which pulled me out of that depression, out of that hopium, and just said, listen to Bossi. It happens as it's supposed to happen. And God's in control. So why do we think that we can change his path? Why do we think we can change his timing? But we do. We do. We got to
And I
catch
agree.
ourselves when that happens.
You know, not to question God's timing, but to be a vessel for God, and not stop talking, not stop sharing, you know, and communicating properly with each other is so important. And I hear people that come to me, it's, well, that doesn't make any sense, that's stupid, or no, that's not true. Well, it is true that Maduro has a lot of information in respect to the 2020 election. Oh my God, you're going back to that again? I'm so sick of that. I'm like, well, hold on, there's more. There's Hugo Chavez that had quite the list that he gave Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God. So it doesn't matter sometimes the information that you tangibly have to give to people. It's almost like the cognitive dissonance is, I don't know. What do you think,
Can
Doc?
can I interject something there? My experience with dealing with people because of my job is that everybody walks around with blinders. And until the reality smacks them across the face that knocks the blinders out, then they're willing to say, oh, just like you were saying, I don't want to deal with that, or I have no other choice to deal with it because the blinders have been taken off. But everybody that I've dealt with in my line of work, always these blinders on, just like that. They don't see anything else. They just go ahead and it's just like a horse. You just keep on going forward and they don't move anywhere until reality hits them.
What's your line of work, Edward?
I used to be a customs officer at the the southern border.
34 years, I believe.
24.
24. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge there. We've been
So
talking about this
on a daily basis, I probably talked with maybe 5 to 1,000 people, depending on the length of the shift. So that's what I'm saying. You know, they get caught with something. Oh, I didn't know. Blinders get kicked off, and here comes the fine, or the seizure, or they lose their vehicle, they lose their local passport, or whatever, or they wind up getting arrested. You know, that's when the blinders come off, and people just realize that, you know, oh, another word goes with that. Oh, but you know,
right?
It's a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. What have y'all thought about this deal with Canada and China? That their new deal where they're trading with each other. Any thoughts on that, Dr. Jan?
Well, has that been solidified, or is it just Mark Carney saying, I have talked to them? We know how long it takes to really make a deal.
Right.
Mark Carney is like John Bolton. They're not pawns of the cabal. They are bigger players on the chessboard.
Yes. Bolton's.
And so
London
it's important for us to pay attention to whatever they say, but also the whole Maduro, Venezuela, it's bigger than just Maduro. Venezuela is a key locale for the Crown Corporation, for the banks. The banks depend on the drug cartels. And so Trump getting that rot out, or going after the center of that spider web so that other threads start fraying. And Canada is definitely one of them. And that's why you have heard him talk about Carney and Canada in relationship to Venezuela as well. I mean, every bit of trade and finance has been controlled out of the city of London. And the City of London is threatened by Trump because he wants to bring us financial sovereignty. And he gets it. It is amazing to me how many people don't understand that globalism was really initiated as British imperialism.
Yes, ma'am.
We were ruled by the Brits.
Yes, ma'am.
And we still were. We still are fighting against them because they're upset that we have a leader who doesn't want to agree with those old rules and ways of doing things.
We want
We're
our
worried about
independence.
not getting our tax money anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Edward.
Exactly.
Sorry. Or go ahead, Jan. Whoever was going to say, I think I jumped in.
No. I was just agreeing. I think you hit on it, Warren.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, how many people, Warren just said something really important, and you might think it was a throwaway line, but it wasn't when he said, and they won't have our tax dollars anymore. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't exactly how he said it, but that was the point. And the thing was that even when we gained our so-called independence from them, part of paying off a debt that they manipulated us into meant that a portion of our tax dollars continued to go to them because, for those that are unaware, the Federal Reserve is part of the whole central banking system, and no government controls the central banking system. It's controlled out of the City of London, although if you go to Wikipedia of late, they're trying to claim that it is a public corporation. But it is a public corporation that sits in the City of London, and it has 12 to 14 directors that are all appointed, and the City of London remains a sovereign state. If the king wants to go to the City of London, he has to get permission from the Lord Mayor. And the Lord Mayor is, in essence, the king of the City of London, or the Queen, because I actually had a lawyer friend who became Lord Mayor for several years. And they control an enormous amount and have about how our different financial systems work. And they made sure to take control of the Bank of England. And the Bank of England stores approximately, well, it might only be about 3% of the gold of the world, but for 30 countries.
And they were saying they just had some problems with silver, that they didn't have it. So Samsung, or China, went straight to the source, went to Mexico. That's a wild deal. It's hurting those oligarchs' bottom line for sure. It's really messing them up. And I'd say that they have a lot to do with oil companies,
Yep. You also, Warren, you've mentioned oligarchs quite a bit.
Yes,
and people cannot just think that that is a term or what you might be calling them. What you really are referring to, quite rightly, is the few people around the world that have wanted the New World Order, that have been in power and to control things, because their goal has been to only create things that are better for them and hurt the rest of us. So don't think Warren is just throwing a term around like a fascist, or no, he's talking about the oligarchs, and the oligarchs are the money controllers around the globe. And that is also, they are the group that are most threatened by Trump.
Amen. And the global central banking influence, and that's what I call the imperial system. I told Chaz about 5 years ago, man, you're going to think we're in the middle of Star Wars, because so many things are going to be kind of alike.
Yeah, right.
I just told
Dr. Jan.
him I want to
sorry.
be in one of those bars one day, and all of a sudden these crazy dudes with different 5 heads comes in. I want to be in there. With Chewbacca.
Or Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Of course, I'm partial to those Sasquatches, so I like some Chewbacca. We're going to say, okay.
In my local communities, Dr. Jan, like for instance, I went and met with my county attorney. Just say, hey, these are some things that I've been reading. What are your thoughts on them? And he is a constitutional lawyer, from what he told me, right? And I made known what I have learned in respect to the City of London, what has occurred, what I am hearing in my own way of being able to communicate. And he goes, don't listen to that crap like that. And then I bring more to his attention, and he no longer communicates with me. But
right.
You know,
Sorry.
but
That happens to the best of us.
you know, and I'm like, isn't that individual doing a disservice to us? I mean, because it's like, I'm not just some wahoo. It's all right in front of us. We can find this information, and things are getting more prevalent now. I mean, it's to a level now where,
well,
even somebody fresh can come in and start catching on to this stuff, you know?
Well, Edward talks about it before by giving us a very good physical example when he said, people have their blinders on, and it's what is the trigger for people to open their eyes, to take the mask off, to take their blinders off? Fortunately enough, there were 80 million, almost 80 million that voted for Trump. And I think if that election happened today, we'd be closer to 90 to 100 million. So that's the good side of it. But also, you're bringing up a really key point, Oathkeeper Bill, in that this is someone that is in a position of power who has blinders on and doesn't want to take in any new information. And why are they so resistant to it? I can't answer that in general, or maybe I could answer it more in general than anything specific. But when people see new information, it jostles them, and if it creates a feeling of discomfort, then they shut down. Right. We have forced our culture into thinking in a binary way. I hate that word. Because binary basically means either or. And even for a lot of, whether it's the Anons or the MAGAs or whatever, they're not even willing to look at other options or possibilities to interpret something. And it's that thinking process that has been a psyop to get us, or we talk about it as critical thinking. Where did critical thinking go? It's not there. And so what I find very, very interesting when I encounter people like the one that you just, what do they think I'm off base about? When I get that pushback, then what I try to do is, well, I definitely don't judge. People know that. But I then want them to start talking to me as if to educate me to their side so I can better understand how cuckoo they are.
I love that, and it. We don't have a lot of time left, Dr. Jan, but I want to say, Steve, the one podcast where you talked about the dark triad, and that was phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
Phenomenal. How you explained all the three different, the narcissist, the psychopath, as well as what was that M1
Machiavellian.
Machiavellian.
Yes.
Machiavellian. It was
Machiavellian.
absolutely perfect, and I find it to be extremely important to learn that, to be able to help communicate with people also. So thank you for doing that. I know we don't have a lot of time now, but Steve, the podcast
How many minutes do I have? Since you just touched on that and we just threw some labels out.
Yeah, that would be amazing, Doctor. I appreciate that.
We got about 15 minutes.
All right. If anyone has been on Spaces with me, they know that I don't like labels. And one of the reasons I don't like labels is that when Dr. Carl Rogers trained me to work with people, that was a very, very important part of his whole methodology. Because if I suddenly say to you, oh, you're obsessive compulsive, I've now just put a label on you, but am I going to look at anything else you do and how you interpret things and how you feel from a totally different perspective? Or I've now put my own blinders on. My diagnosis is I'm going to put everything in the bucket of obsessive compulsive. So I absolutely don't believe in labeling anyone. It was more important to me when I had one-on-one patients to be able to say, right now, you're losing my attention.
You're rubber banding a little bit, so we're getting you a little bit. So see if we can. You keep freezing up on us too a little bit.
You're rambling.
You're telling the truth.
On about something, and why are you rambling on? My meaning that I create adjectives and adverbs with those terms so that people understand them. People like the sound of the word psychopath. And since Trump came down the escalator, so many people have thrown psychopath out. He's a psychopath, as if it's someone who's clearly sick. But the dark triad are three behaviors. There's always a predominant, and they overlap. So Machiavellian is those people that are driven in a Machiavellian way. Power is the most important thing. Adam Schiff, power. You just think he's willing to lie, he's willing to use people, he's willing to deceive, because the ultimate goal is power.
Right.
Okay, a psychopath is impulsive, is glib, has zero compassion for people. It doesn't mean that they're crazy. And sometimes people associate antisocial behavior or dissocial behavior with a psychopath. So again, if I say you're antisocial, what does that mean? I mean, I don't even get it. What it means is that I care about what I want. I'm going to use you with no regard for the impact. When the Democrats say the ends justify the means, that is a psychopath mindset, because if the end justifies the means, then whatever the means I use to get there are justified, no matter who I hurt, no matter who I killed,
Right.
no matter what crime I committed. And then the narcissist, well, Elizabeth Warren's my favorite. When Padillo got arrested, when he challenged Kristi Noem's press conference, and Elizabeth Warren was shrieking, "You can't arrest a senator. How dare you arrest a senator?" That is an attitude of superiority, but it's false superiority, because when I've always done leadership training and coaching, you can have positional power, but if you don't feel you have personal power, then you're going to think your positional power actually gives you power. How many times have we heard someone say, "Well, I'm the boss now. You know, you report to me, so you follow me." But underneath that is an incredible amount of insecurity. But it's, or I don't know about you, but I remember the term when I was in maybe middle school and high school, we'd say, "Oh, that person really has a superiority complex." And we knew that they were acting superior, but they weren't really superior and they were really insecure. So those three behaviors, Nancy Pelosi, when 60 Minutes interviewed her about the squad, and she didn't even get the number of women in the squad right. She goes, "Oh, those 5, well, there were only 4." But that was her way of putting them down. And because Nancy, I've known Nancy for 40 plus years. And Nancy is a scared little girl inside of everything else. But when you have a mafia connected father, you learn how to use power where the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. And then when she was born into it, watched it happen, I'm sure, you know, knew a little bit about it, was aware of it at least, you know.
That describes like everybody in the House and the Senate.
Oh, it does. It does. And once you think about how they have acted and you can understand where they're coming from, at least it helps me understand what is motivating the evil. And it really is evil.
And I would say they're getting a lot of, if they do really, really bad stuff, make bad decisions that are on purpose, in my opinion, they're getting some that a boy, that a girl, good job from their peers. And that's how they get brought. Okay, you're going to do that. Wow, that's going out there. Woo!
Right.
You have just gotten, you just got everybody in a head spin. You're lifted up, I would say, you know. And they love
I emailed you a little video earlier, Warren. Were you able to find it by chance?
My cursor, I've got so much up there. My cursor won't let me. I can't even find it. Just a second ago, like what happened to me on tap.
If you can send it to Dr. Jan later, I appreciate it. I think she'll get a kick out of it.
Okay, will do. Sorry, I can't play it.
No,
I can't touch any of them. It just disappeared a few minutes ago, and I was like, "Oh Lord."
Well, I
Dr.
appreciate
Jan,
you so much, Dr.
pleasure having you. I'd love to go over to, like, for you, and if you have anything to say about what Edward has to say. Edward has a lot of knowledge about what's going on over there in Venezuela, and he's been on the border a lot. He's been present. I'd love to see what you have to say, and Edward, and run it by Dr. Jane, because I bet she's got a lot to say about it too. I'd love for y'all to have a little conversation.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening, you know, right here in the southwestern border in the town of Piñetas, which is down in the valley close to Mission, Texas. Department of War started building up a barbed wire fence or concertina wire fence that a lot of the town was surprised, but it's in result of what Mexico is doing of moving all the military equipment up to the border. That's one, with the fall of Maduro, and everybody is scared. I don't know if you guys saw the return of the remains of the Cuban soldiers that came out of Venezuela. It's a little box. That's all that was left of them.
Wow.
It's a little
No.
box, all of them. And
That's great.
everybody there was showing their loyalty to the Cuban regime that was there. The Canelo, which is the president that's running Cuba now. I'm sorry, I'm going all the way around because let's put it this way. Let me reverse a little bit. Maduro went down. He has a lot of information. He has helped everybody all the way up and down Central and South America to get elected by using the what you call the machines, the voting machines.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody, there's even a song that came out asking, where are all the communists that said that they were going to help us or help Maduro, because Maduro got captured and is in jail, and the song is asking, where are they? They never came to help.
Wow.
So you have that. What's his name? Dioses Cabello, who is the number 2 of Venezuela, is calling everybody out. He's calling the president Pietro of Colombia. He's calling him out. Hey, where are you? We help you. He's calling out the guy from Nicaragua, Ortega, and all of that. And the whole thing there is that to include Claudia Sheinbaum from Mexico has been called out. We helped you, with all this, the drugs and the money and the whole 9 yards. And the question is that a lot of people in Mexico, for example, I'm just coming north, are asking, the people from the Mexicans are asking, when, wait, let me stop there for a minute. I just heard a video of a guy by the name El Botax, who is a leader of one of the cartels in Michoacan, that he is requesting that the U.S. goes into Mexico and get rid of all the cartels. And he's the leader of one of them.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's very telling what you're saying there. All this.
Yeah, it says a lot.
Helping them.
And then the other thing, going around, coming down into the Caribbean with Cuba, the last thing I saw about Cuba is that they're going to have, they don't have enough diesel to run their television, radio stations, AM, FM, you name it. They're having blackouts. They don't have enough fuel for that. Also, that all the oil tankers that belong to Cuba are in Cuban waters. They're not going out looking for fuel or oil. They're in Cuban waters. And then the last thing that I can say is that Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, is saying that they're going to be sending 400,000 barrels of oil to Cuba as a humanitarian effort. The thing is that she says that Mexico produces anywhere between 1.4 to 1.6 million barrels of oil a day, that 400,000 is nothing, but it has a value of $30 million.
Wow.
So, Edward, you were talking about a piece of land. Is that the Roosevelt Reservation along our border? That
No. That's
no.
No. It's down by Mission, Texas.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
It's a town called Piñata.
Oh, okay.
That's the Department of War is getting ready for the move. Well, they're getting ready for moving up of all the stuff that's coming up from Mexico. I've seen some videos where they show all the equipment on trains being moved. So where are they going to stage for whatever, or they're just going to be a blocking force for whatever? So
Right.
So that's
Thank you for that.
That's the situation there. But you know, it's kind of crazy to say is that out of the blue, here comes a leader of a cartel of a narco trafficking organization in Michoacan, which is one of the most violent ones, puts his face out there, ask President Trump, come and get these people out of here because we want a better government. We want the cartels to be gone.
Get rid of our competition.
Yeah, no kidding. That's the other side right there.
Well, that adds on to something where, you know, when Patrick Byrne was traveling around the world, getting whistleblowers and getting everyone, you know, he was having to run himself with a $25 million bounty. There were Russian mafia reaching out to him saying, hey, if you need help, if you need to know where this is in Serbia, where this is in wherever, we are here to help you. These people have gotten crazy. So there's a lot of people that you would say, God, they're the worst of the worst. And they're coming out like, we don't want any part of this Satan stuff. You know, they're crazy. Dr. Jan, it's sure. Go ahead, Edward.
No. Go ahead. No, I'm good.
Well, I just want to say, Dr. Jan, it's been wonderful. Did you have anything that you think we ought to know about kind of stuff that Edward was talking about, or do you?
Actually, what I was thinking was how much I've enjoyed being with all of you, because we're all on the same wavelength and we're playing off of one another and building on what we know. And I think that is incredibly helpful for other people, because it's not like, oh, I'm a talking head and I know more than anyone else. That's not the case. But is kind of the themes or the headlines, and then each of us know what's underneath the headlines to be able to bring that up and to be able to share and connect the dots, because they're all connected in the end. So I want to thank you for asking me to join you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yes,
Hope you get to see you soon.
Thank you for what you do, Doctor. And God bless you guys. We'll see you later.
All right. See you, Oathkeeper Bill. Have a good one. Dr. Jan, it's been wonderful. Look forward to seeing you. Edward, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. See you later. Nice meeting you, ma'am.
Nice meeting you too, Edward. Thanks for your contribution.
You got it.
Amen. Thanks for everything you're doing. We appreciate you. Thanks for saying yes to coming on the show. And just want to say we'll see you back soon, I hope, sometime.
Oh, of course, Warren.
Okay. All right. Well, have a great evening. We're proud of you.
I hope so.
Praying for you.
All right. I've missed you when I've been in Nashville.
I've been running. I've been wild. And I've been out of town.
God bless you too.
Same to you. See you later. See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Great. Thank you for joining. I hope that, well, I look silly up there. I'm frozen on my side. Not now. Anyways, I hope you got a lot out of this. I like our group on Friday night. I like being in here with Oathkeeper Bill and Edward, because I think they bring a lot to the table, and really enjoyed Dr. Jan. She did. She was great. She always is. But anyways, we'd love for you to come hang out with us. Chaz has done a great job with Patriot Shoot, with the state groups, the state chat. You know, that's what we're about, is finding places for people. If you need someone you need to talk to because everybody thinks you're crazy, they come hang out with us because everybody thinks we're crazy a lot too. So we hang out with each other, you know, and we lift each other up, hopefully. And if you have a want to be in humanitarian projects, if you want to, I don't know, learn about the votes, if you want to just get in with your other people in your state that you don't even know, but you need somebody that maybe you can have a cup of coffee with, then come holler at us. That's join.patriotshoot.com, and we'd love to have you. Hope you have a great weekend. Have a 3-day weekend, but we don't be taking 3 days. Monday we'll be bringing it because ain't no telling what's going to happen from here on out. But some big stuff's fixing to happen. I know we've said that a lot, and stuff is happening. In my opinion, Dr. Jan and Oath Keeper Bill were kind of talking about, people think Oath Keeper Bill was saying that, he thinks, people just ignore him about information and stuff and say, you're crazy or whatever. Well, that's going to happen. And what you do is you just continue on. In my opinion, depending on how much time you have to put into this, get you 1 to 5 good subjects that you think different groups that you're around would be interested in, whether it be guns, whether it be taxes, whether it be the children, whether it be knowing about just have it together in your notes, in your phone at all times, and be able to whip that sucker out like a switchblade and give them the information. But if you don't know, don't say a bunch of bull. Just, I don't know, but I'll find out the answer. I'll find it out. Just don't get to where you can get caught and saying, well, I don't know, and be confident about it. Study your sources. Know about those things. Use your notes. Find the people that you think are telling you the truth and watch them and get some stuff out of it. I know Chaz is in state groups all the time. I'm in talk time all the time. You can come in there and ask me and the mods and the people that are in there anything you want to, and we'll do our best to get you ready. In fact, I got a lot of them on my phone, like hundreds of different subjects that I've studied over it for a long time. And then just, if people think you're crazy, well, then that one might not tell anything to. I might just say, hey, instead of taking those 12 Advil a day, maybe we could do this and help them with their health. Just my opinion. But you might just need to back off and let the Lord handle it. Might be the best thing. Who knows? You make your decision. I ain't the boss of nobody, but if I can help, I will. Join.patriotshoot.com. We'd love to have you. We'll see you Monday, 12 o'clock. Thank you so much, and bye.